There was a economist, a sort of grand strategic thinker named Thomas Schelling in the 1950s and 60s who ended up winning a Nobel Prize for this. And he spoke of an event that came to be called a Schelling incident, and that was basically what lay people would call the spark. And it's the moment when you take a group of people who are incensed, angry. They've already been turned into sort of riot kindling, if you will, and yet are still what we would consider normal, upstanding individuals. Schelling studied this phenomenon in which he found that it took actually just a demonstration, a symbolic demonstration of both the weakness or the failure of whatever legal system or moral code that kept those people upstanding, that and or an event that showed the bounty or the advantage that can be gained by crossing those rules or crossing those laws and breaking them. And often those two things go hand in hand. So what you typically see at the beginning of a riot is one single event that shows to people who are in a crowd, who are already angry, that breaking a window, stealing something from a store is not going to get them arrested. And in fact, will actually be cheered on by the crowd. And when you think about it, it's sort of carnivalesque in its upturning of normal conditions. Normally, if I went up to a supermarket and I broke a window and stole a piece of corn, not only would the police come get me, but everyone around me would look at me and say, you're a lawbreaker, that's criminal. They might even try to stop me and hold me for the police. Well, imagine a situation where the opposite is the case, where there was already thousands of people around me. I broke a window, stole a piece of corn, and said, "Yes, I've got the corn," and everyone cheered. And not only that, but the police couldn't even come get me, and everyone knew that. Well, it only goes to show that this is what happens in almost every riot. Those people are then going to say, I can do the same thing. I can now take advantage of the situation. And so what we typically think of as mob mentality actually operates on a very interesting individual level, where individual decisions are often sparked as sort of a chain reaction from one decision that turns a mob from being potentially violent to violent. And as police officers like to call the thin blue line right there, unrelated, of course, to the thin blue line of police departments, but the thin blue line between violence and nonviolence, once you cross it, it's very hard to get back.